On the morning of her wedding, Amara woke up feeling like the luckiest woman in the world. By midnight that same day, destiny had already started writing a different story. The music was loud, the hall was full, cameras flashed like lightning, women danced in bright aso-ebi, the smell of jollof rice filled the air. It was a big wedding in Abuja, the kind people talk about for years. Everyone said she had married well. Everyone said she was blessed. Everyone said she was safe. But sometimes, the most dangerous place for a woman is not the street, it is the house people celebrate her into. The pastor stood at the altar that day and gave a warning many people clapped for, but few truly heard. Marriage is not a playground. Marriage is not a competition. Marriage is not something you enter with blind eyes, he said. Pray you marry right, and you marry once. Amara believed she had. Emeka looked like every woman's prayer point. He was handsome, successful, spiritual. He prayed with confidence. He spoke with power. He smiled like a man who feared God. If wickedness had a uniform, it would not look like him. And that was the problem. The wedding reception was full of joy. Talking drums beat loudly. Aunties sprayed money. Uncles laughed. The air smelled of fried meat and expensive perfume. Children ran around with excitement. Amara stood beside Emeka, smiling until her cheeks hurt. She felt proud. She felt chosen. She felt secure. She had grown up believing that marriage was forever. Her mother always told her that a woman must be patient in her husband's house, that storms will come, but a wise woman stays. Amara planned to stay. She did not know that sometimes storms do not come with rain. Sometimes they come with silence. The sweet beginning. Their new home was inside a quiet estate in Abuja. Tall gates, security guards, clean roads. It looked peaceful. The first weeks were beautiful. They woke up together, ate together, went to church together. Emeka held her hand during service. People admired them. Some even said they were a kingdom couple. Amara tried her best to be a good wife. She cooked early. She cleaned carefully. She prayed over their home every morning. She felt safe. But safety can be an illusion. The first change. It started small. Emeka began correcting her in front of people. If she said something wrong, he would interrupt. If she laughed too loud, he would frown. If she gave an opinion, he would dismiss it. It looked small, but it felt big. At home, he became quiet, distant, always on his phone. When she asked gentle questions, he said she worried too much. When she told her mother that he sometimes sounded harsh, her mother said marriage needs patience. So Amara chose patience. The first time. One hot evening after a long day at work, Emeka came home angry. They argued over something small. His voice rose, her voice became softer, and suddenly his hand hit her face. The room went silent. He looked shocked at himself. He said sorry immediately. He blamed stress, he blamed work, he blamed her tone. He promised it would never happen again. Amara cried that night quietly into her pillow. She forgave him because that is what she was taught to do. The cycle. But it happened again. Not every day, just enough to keep fear alive. After every outburst, he would apologize. He would buy gifts. He would pray loudly and say the devil was fighting their marriage. For a few days, he would be sweet again. Then the anger would return. Amara became careful with her words, careful with her steps, careful with her breathing. She felt like living inside a house made of glass. Control. Soon, Emeka began controlling money. He kept her bank card. He said he was managing things better. He told her she did not need to work. A good wife stays home, he said. He checked her phone. Sometimes he took it away completely. He discouraged her from visiting friends. He said married women should not move around too much. Slowly, her world became small, very small. From a big wedding hall filled with hundreds of people to one house where she felt alone. smiling outside. In church, they still looked perfect. He smiled, he held her hand, he posted pictures online calling her his answered prayer. Nobody saw the bruises hidden under long sleeves. Nobody heard the crying at night. Neighbors sometimes heard shouting but stayed silent. In many places, people say it is husband and wife matter, so they looked away. The pregnancy. Then Amara found out she was pregnant. She cried tears of joy. She believed this baby would change everything. For some weeks, Emeka seemed happy. He bought fruits, he drove her to the hospital. But slowly, his behavior changed again. He became suspicious, angry, more controlling. One night, during an argument, he pushed her hard. She fell against the wall and quickly held her stomach. Fear filled her heart like never before. It was no longer just about her. It was about her child. The truth came quietly. One afternoon, Emeka left his tablet at home. It was unlocked. A message appeared on the screen. Amara looked, and her world broke. There was another woman, in Lagos. There were pictures. There was a child. Emeka had another family. Her hands shook as she scrolled further. There were lies, strange money transfers, secrets everywhere. The man she married was not real. He was a mask. Now she understood his anger. He was afraid of being exposed. The breaking point. When Emeka realized she knew the truth, he became worse. The shouting became louder. One night, something crashed against the wall. A neighbor finally called estate security. For the first time, other people saw what had been hidden. For the first time, Amara was not alone. Choosing life. Leaving was hard. People talked. Some said she should endure. Some said all marriages have problems. But Amara understood something clearly now. God does not ask anyone to suffer in silence. She left. Months later, she gave birth to a healthy baby. Holding her child, she remembered the pastor's words. Pray you marry right. Pray you marry once. But never stay where your life, your dignity, or your soul is being destroyed. Because sometimes the most dangerous place for a woman is the house people celebrated her into. And sometimes survival is the bravest choice of all.